I mean, that is a place full of racism. Just stop it with this bull. How does ESPN allow this? I don't really know. Something ESPN has to have, and that is coverage for the white guys. This comes on the heels of this fraud, David Dennis Jr. We know this because they show this every single day. Look, let's start with this. People say, well, African Americans or half white people can't be racist. I call balderdash to that. Yes, I said it. It's an old man phrase that I've embraced for years. It says balderdash, which means nonsense, garbage. Stop it, stupid. Of course they can, and nobody's more racist than David Dennis Jr. I guess he's a writer for something called Anscape at ESPN, the African-American, sidebar to ESPN. You can find it barely. You can find it barely on the left-hand side with the podcast, so it's not that important to ESPN, but it does fulfill something ESPN has to have, and that is coverage for the white guys in Building 4, the Mike McQuaddies, and, of course, what the hell is his name? Burke Magnuses of the world. He's the biggest racist, David Dennis Jr. is at ESPN, and that's no easy feat. I mean, that is a place full of racism. White folks are treated poorly and have nowhere to go. Say a slight to somebody like Myron Metcalf, a TV and writing personality, you have no idea who it is, and he runs immediately, butthurt, to the administration. At least he used to. I don't know if he still does. Well, before Hulk Hogan's lifeless body could even turn cold, David Dennis Jr. fired off a slanderous hit piece defining Hogan's life by a single mistake he made when he used the N-word during a private conversation which was leaked to the press during the era where we couldn't wait to go back and find all of the discretions, all of them, all of the problems that we had or we might have or we've always had 20, 30, 40 years ago. Oh, my God, if you did something as a 12-year-old, it came out. Hey, what Hulk Hogan did was stupid, racist, and idiotic. But I don't know that defines a man's entire life. He acknowledged his mistake, apologized profusely, lost millions over his dumb air. That wasn't enough for David Dennis Jr., who entitled his article, Hulk Hogan's Legacy Isn't Complicated. Now, this comes on the heels of this fraud, David Dennis Jr., being mortified, he says, by American Eagle's hit ad featuring, you know it, Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, David Dennis Jr. makes stuff up. He's so soft, he's such a little pussy, that he gets mortified by an ad. Now, he's given a platform for one reason and one reason only. He's not really a writer. His daddy, apparently, David Dennis Sr., who nobody's ever heard of, is described as a civil rights advocate, a civil rights activist. Hell, I am too. I am too. I've marched right down Broadway. Yeah. I don't know, it was a parade, but I've marched. I mean, these dudes, hey, look, just because your daddy did something doesn't mean you're something. David Dennis Jr. was absolutely laughed out by NBA folks when he tried during the NBA Finals to provide analysis. He stepped into the actual pool, the actual waters of analysis of basketball, and it failed miserably. It dropped like a rock. Can't tell you how many people commented, who is this fool trying to tell anybody how to do anything with basketball, as David Dennis Jr. is a scrawny little guy who has never played basketball. But hey, hold on here. His daddy was a, civil rights activist. Now, somebody's going to do some research and tell me how important this guy, David Dennis Sr., was, and I'm going to go, yeah, okay. I mean, you want to get popular? Back about 4 years ago, say you were a civil rights activist. And everybody went, oh, my God. But anyway, we at OutKick, we like fairness. We like all things fair. We also discovered that David Dennis Jr. didn't quite have the same energy when discussing the life of Kobe Bryant in the wake of his death. When he titled the piece, Remembering Kobe Bryant, A man who never trusted in tomorrow. Oh, David Dennis Jr. is being deep, yo. He revealed that ESPN and its staff is okay attacking and belittling deceased white athletes, but apparently black athletes are off limits. We know Kobe Bryant famously settled a rape case in the middle of the rape case that every legal analyst says he was going to lose. Allegedly, and I'll use that allegedly because, well, you're supposed to, his attorney told a very good friend of mine, his lawyer, his agent told a very good friend of mine that the place in Colorado, the hotel, was told Kobe Bryant is coming, do not have any women working that day. These two women didn't get the memo, the email, whatever it was to be communicated at that time. They showed up. Allegedly, there was a rape. Bryant paid it off. You'll read that in David Dennis Jr.'s account. Now, these were white women that he raped, allegedly. Interesting. How does ESPN allow this? I don't really know. How does the world allow this? I don't really know. Look, I'm not saying if you're African American, you shouldn't be offended by what Hulk Hogan did. I'm saying there should be some type fairness in the media. I get what Anscape is. Don't get me wrong. I get it's a propaganda machine for the white guys in Building 4 at ESPN to feel better about themselves, to say we're not going to be racist because we have Anscape. Who else would hire David Dennis Jr. to do anything? Only we would. The white guys say, Burke Magnus, Mike McQuaddy say in those buildings at ESPN. Who else would hire these dumbasses that write dumbass stuff? Like Hulk Hogan's legacy is defined in a word, while Kobe Bryant's legacy is, I couldn't wait for tomorrow. Both were champions. Both were icons. But one said one word one time, which I'm sure he didn't. Like, you don't get caught speeding one time. I'm sure Hulk Hogan was dumb enough to use that word often, and he happened to get caught. And I'm sure this wasn't the first time that Kobe Bryant said, hey, girl, get over here. I'm sure. You don't get caught speeding the first time, people. Both are ridiculous. Both are awful. You're not allowed to say it about Kobe Bryant. I remember a guy at my radio station, Big Joe Stasiak, said it, and everybody went, oh, racist. Really? He's just telling the truth. I mean, Kobe Bryant was a predator, allegedly. Big time. You know what, though? He won a championship, and somehow during that period, he became a, quote, girl dad. Wonder how much of a girl dad he was to the young women that he attacked in that hotel in Colorado, allegedly, or maybe other times. I wonder how much of a girl dad he was to the father of those women that were in Colorado and allegedly got attacked by Kobe Bryant. I wonder. You don't. You do if you're thinking about fairness. When you are a racist, that is your legacy above all else. Hulk Hogan died being known as a racist and also being famous as a professional wrestler. See, I would argue Kobe Bryant died being a predator, a sexual predator, a alleged rapist, who was a good basketball player. I don't know. But he had the media behind him. As I've told you, white media scared to death to be called racist. You won't hear one white person say what I just said. Black media want to be down with the party. They want to be down with the rappers. They want to be down with the strip clubs. They want to be down with the party. I mean, Windhorst said that on TV. He all but said that. Everybody in the NBA understands that. So nobody's going to criticize Kobe Bryant, particularly now. It's taboo. He's a girl dad. Bullshit. Girl dad. Ask the two girls' parents. Ask the girls' dads that he attacked allegedly. How much of a girl dad you think he is? He showed us fatherly love that was beautiful to watch unfold. This is about Kobe Bryant. Really? Is that right, David Dennis Jr.? By raping two women, allegedly, in Colorado? By having multiple affairs, allegedly? By paying off both victims and his wife with a big rock? It's fitting that of all the memes on the internet that Kobe birthed, from counting to 5, to him glancing over at the crowd, to two men willing to meet in Tepkalamu to fight over him, the last and most viral of them is Kobe explaining basketball to Gigi. Let me ask you a question. What did he explain to the two women that he paid off for raping them, allegedly? Or at least the one woman. I'll wait. I'll sit and wait for an answer. Just stop it with this bullshit. Yet, as you finish the article, you'll notice an admission. No mention of rape allegations. 2003, a 19-year-old woman accused Bryant of raping her at Cordillera Lodge and Spa in Edwards, Colorado. While the case was dropped after the accuser was unwilling to testify, the evidence against Bryant was damning. Prosecutors seemed to have a strong case. According to court document, examination of the woman at the hospital revealed the bruise on her neck, tears in her vagina, and wall. Both her underwear and Bryant's shirt were bloody. Bryant told the police, Bryant told them, gosh darn it, I'm screwing this up. Basically, Bryant paid her off. And I believe he paid her off in the middle of the trial. Now, I don't know about you, but that ain't no girl dad. That's a bigger incident, to me anyway, and maybe it's just because I'm white, people will say. It's not. As I am a girl dad. My daughter just came home today. I'm a girl and a stepdad. Dad. Bryant told police he had not explicitly asked for consent, so he admitted it. How about that? Yeah, no mention of that. Now he's a girl dad. That's the biggest fraud perpetrated on the American public. Maybe he became one, but if we're going to go after people for their past, why is everybody so afraid to go after Kobe Bryant, but so easy to go after Hulk Hogan? You know the reason. Bobby Barack highlights how absurd David Dennis Jr. is and what ESPN tells us. According to David Dennis Jr., Sydney Sweeney ad mortifies him. There are too many ads with attractive blonde women. Hulk Hogan should only be remembered as a racist. Why are there too many ads with only attractive blonde women? What the hell is that? White people have a moral obligation to defend even guilty black people. I don't. You might. That might be your thing. You know, David Dennis Jr. is pathetic. He is pathetic, even for the very low standards and ridiculous ideals that permeate ESPN. This is an editorial embarrassment for ESPN. They should address it, but won't, because they are cowards. They are cowards. I mean, the white dudes walking around ESPN in their little suits in Building 4 talking about their team are the biggest cowards in sports. They have absolutely no balls, no guts, no nothing. Zero. And we know this because they show this every single day by who they put on, by what they tolerate. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, and it needs to be called out. Now, does it affect anybody's life? No, I could give two shits about somebody named David Dennis Jr., and David Dennis Jr. should give two shits about me. But hey, at OutKick, we keep it real, yo, and that's what we're doing. You're not going to get this content anywhere else. You're not. I'm telling you. This is good stuff. And why don't you go right now like 1.75 million other folks have done, and guess what? Go over to youtube.com/@OutKick/videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. That way you'll never miss any of our great content. All right, leave it to this is so funny. This is really funny. Before I know people say, you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm talking about. But this is funny. And Awful Announcing doesn't think it's funny, but I don't care. I think this is really funny. I think this is really pathetic. I think this is really liberal. I think this is really young, liberal douchebag of the folks at Awful Announcing. The blogger boys at Awful Announcing, they're up in arms. They are. They're up in arms over legendary Major League Baseball player Keith Hernandez comments about former Big Fat Panda, a.k.a. San Francisco Giant Pablo Sandoval, in which he accurately highlighted the man who went by the nickname Kung Fu Panda. Now, why do you think he did that? You think he did that? I don't know. You think he did that because he was a skinny guy? Because he was just a little runt of a man? Kung Fu Panda, you know what? I don't know. Kung Fu Panda, to me, is a perfect nickname. Kung Fu Panda is one of those guys. Oh, wait. Just read what was said. Okay. All right. He accurately highlighted Kung Fu Panda's struggles with weight over the course of his career. Now, we say struggles with weight, but what if Kung Fu Panda just simply liked being fat? And he was fat. Hernandez said whatever the last line was supposed to mean. Oh, wait, hold on. Basically, what happened was, we don't have the clip right now, but Hernandez said Kung Fu Panda should have pushed himself and done push-ups away from the dinner table. It's a classic line. There it is. Classic line. Awful announcing took offense. Of course they did. They think it's 2020. Whatever that last line was supposed to mean, besides the obvious attempt at fat shaming, it landed with all the subtlety of Hernandez calling out piss poor hitting on a hot mic. So what? It's piss poor hitting. And while Sandoval has heard worse, especially during his time, the line still felt gratuitous. Good. So what? What are you going to do? Guys are up there every day talking about baseball. What are you going to do? Every line? We must get every line right. So the skinny jean wearing white guys at awful announcing, don't get offended. Hey, awful announcing, go to hell. Yeah, you guys know nothing. You guys never been in a booth. You've never broadcast anything. Y'all are just little white guys. Little white guys hanging around working for little fat Benny Koo. Yeah, I body shame because he's a little fat guy. Little fat Benny Koo telling you, did you hear what he said? Oh, my God, this is atrocious. It's facetious. It's gratuitous. Oh, shut up. Well, here it is. Throwback to a viral fat photo of Sandoval on the Red side. Well, here it is. Via the Boston Globe. The people, everyone's going to be talking about tomorrow. Here's Sandoval in San Francisco. Pablo Sandoval is taking grounders at third base. His throws appears to have good carry. Look at that. Of course, fat shaming isn't new to the sports media. Neither is Keith Hernandez saying something out of pocket. But even for him, this one felt tired. Oh, I'm sorry. He's supposed to keep it fresh, yo, for all the little white guys that sit around, bitch, whine, and moan that have never been in a seat like this, that have never done anything. Hey, yo, you got a bad attitude about, everything? Come on, work for us. I'll get you an interview at Awful Announcing. Dakich will talk about us. Everybody else doesn't, but Dakich will, so we got that going for us. No, who gives a shit? It's a good line. You don't like it, tough. Look, I say this all the time, and I'll say this again. You get bored. You come out of mama. The doctor smacks you. You start crying. It ain't the only time someone's going to smack you. It ain't the only time someone's going to make you cry. You'll be all right, Buttercup. Pablo Sandoval will probably come in there, and my guess is one of two things. He either weighs 797,000 pounds, or he's skinny, and he's got Ozempic face. I don't know which one. I honestly don't. I don't know. But, you know what? I bet you. Look, you guys are just ridiculous. Stop it. Speaking of a sensitive woke bunch, oh, man. Funny formerly. I never thought George Lopez was funny. Now, you couldn't say that a few years ago or else you were racist. But I never thought he was funny. Of course, I didn't think Chris Farley was funny. Didn't do it for me. Anyway, he went on an unhinged rant about and against the Los Angeles Dodgers, claiming the franchise has blocked him on social media over his anti-ice commentary. See, I get it. Like David Dennis Jr., you got to defend your people, right? Somehow, some way. I don't understand it. I just thought as a journalist or somebody you're so George Lopez apparently wants a bunch of criminals in our country. Remember when we all had to shut it down? Remember when we couldn't go outside, had to wear masks? Somehow that turned into 10 million unvaxxed, undocumented people in our country. How'd that happen? That don't make no sense. But anyway, George Lopez wants all these people running around. Lopez criticized the Dodgers based on the false claim, this is how dumb these idiots are, the false claim that ICE agents were denied entry to a parking lot at Chavez Ravine. He also told People magazine the team failed to oppose ICE's actions. Wait a second. Hold on. Why should the team defend or wait, hold on. Why should the team oppose ICE's actions? So you want to go into a ball game and get the hell beat out of you by somebody that's a criminal in here illegally. You want your home robbed. In Indianapolis, as soon as Biden released 94 of Trump's edicts, here came the Venezuelan game. Here came everything. Here it came. MS-13, west side of town. I was talking to my buddy, two cops that I hang out with and play golf. They're like, yeah, they're gone. As soon as Trump came in, he said ICE has done an amazing job. But George Lopez doesn't want that. George Lopez wants to what? Let criminals reign because they're from his country? Like if I were in England right now and a bunch of Americans came in illegally and were criminals in America, I'd be like, yo, get those jackasses out of here. George Lopez has made more money in America than he'd ever make in Mexico or anywhere else. What's he bitching about? He should want this country to be better. Honest to God, on June 12th, the Dodgers stated that ICE agent requested parking lot access but were denied. An ICE spokesman clarified no agents were at Dodger Stadium, noting the officers were California Border Control. Now, George Lopez, because, well, he's a funny guy and he's on the CW, honest to God, he dismissed that clarification. No comment from the owners of ICE. Huh? The owners of ICE? If anyone doesn't belong, it's the Dodgers. Really? So we think illegal immigrants should be in here, but not the Dodgers? Georgie, baby, put it down. Put the spoon down. Maybe at the next fan fest, they could have ICE agents dressed as a visiting team and remove fans during the seventh inning stretch, since fan loyalty means nothing. George Lopez is the dumbest human being I've heard talk about this issue. Yes, they should. Yeah. If you're a criminal from another country here illegally and a criminal in that country, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm a Dodger fan. What? Who gives a shit? I'm an American. George Lopez is the dumbest. I can't believe I even have to talk about this idiot. No, he's really stupid. I mean, think about no comment from the owners of ICE. The what? The owners of ICE. Oh, okay, George. Really? If anyone doesn't belong, it's the Dodgers. Yeah, well, see, the Dodgers have been there for a long time. Without the Dodgers, a lot of money doesn't come into L.A., a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. But that's even a stupid argument. So who does belong is illegal immigrants, because George, being Mexican, thinks that every criminal from every country belongs in here without permission, without authorization, without going through the way that our ancestors did, legally. No, it's fascinating. No, it really is. It really is. It's really fascinating. So anyway, long story short, it continues. The administration is deporting Latinos to make the streets safer. Want safer streets? Deport the police. Yeah, we must listen to the comedian. I mean, when his show comes up on the CW, he makes money. So he's a rich comedian, but he smiles. George Lopez is really stupid. Here are the comedians who have gone fully woke and suffer from TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. George Lopez, Stephen Colbert, Kathy Griffin, Jimmy Kimmel, and John Oliver. They do. Lopez isn't the only unhinged nut job. Watch this. Watch this lunatic go off during an LA City Council meeting demanding that LAPD protect their citizens against ICE. Watch this one.
Hi, my name is Katie LaFoon, and I have general public comment, but I will not let you start my time until I have everybody's attention.
So that's not how we're doing. 1 minute for general public comment. If you'd like, you could adjust the microphone. Feel free. So
it's here, but do not start my time until I have everybody's attention. Nope, you restart that. I took off work. You guys work for us, and nobody is paying attention. Hi. You work for us, and we have a comment. We need you to listen. I understand that this is typically like your job is Parks and Rec. That is not what this is right now. We are in a state of emergency. The actual mayor declared that. And we are here asking you to pay attention. You have had a summer break. You know who's not had a summer break? Don't roll your f***ing eyes at me. I see you. You know who's not had a summer break? The protesters, the citizens of LA who are terrified. You know what we're not hearing you talk about? In 2 weeks, school is back in session. 50% of the students in LA do not feel safe going to school. Why aren't you talking about that? Why is no one having a town hall? Seattle, their police chief instructed their police to protect the citizens. Why can't you? Why can't the LAPD be on our side? We want LAPD on our side. I'm not done. Our fight is with ICE. Our fight is not with LAPD. We do not want to be fighting with them. We want them on our side. Can you imagine if LAPD was protecting us, protecting the citizens?
Well, LAPD protects the citizens every day, Peaches. But look at me. I'm a little white girl. I demand you pay attention to me. Look, and then a criminal comes into your house. Who you calling, lady? Oh, just shut up. Crazy people. Like, other than Sydney Sweeney, my wife, and all my family members, white women are nuts. They're insane. Sophie Cunningham, she ain't backing down. The hottest woman in sports is refusing to back down from the comments she made in light of the WNBA revealing their next expansion cities, Cleveland and Detroit. I'm not going to apologize because I firmly believe it. Here's what Sophie Cunningham had to say back in the day.
Because it is helpful. It's way more helpful. You just get more opportunities, and so I get that aspect. But I also think that you want to listen to your players too. Like, where do they want to play? Where are they going to get excited to play and draw fans? And I do think that Miami would have been a great one. Like, everyone loves Florida. Nashville is an amazing city. Kansas City, amazing opportunity. There's a huge arena downtown that no one's using. And I think that the Women's Soccer League is showing that, like, people draw, and so I'm not so sure what the thought process is there. But at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that you're not expanding our league too fast. I think that's also another thing, that you don't want teams to totally dominate and then have teams that aren't. And so I just think that it's kind of a hard decision-making situation. But man, I don't know how excited people are to be going to Detroit or Cincinnati.
Well, let me explain something to you. What the WNBA has proven is the last people you should listen to are the players, because they're morons. I mean, think about all the stuff that we've seen this year. Think about all of it. It's insane. So Sophie Cunningham doesn't understand it. Maybe nobody in Nashville wants the franchises. Maybe nobody in Miami wants the franchises. You're telling me Miami can't even support baseball. Like, maybe if no, that wouldn't work either. I was going to say ran around in bikinis and thongs like South Beach, which is popular for that. Miami doesn't give a rat's ass about the WNBA, and to little Sophie's, to her education, somebody's got to be willing to buy you. Like, if and businessmen are pretty smart. Businessmen are like, wait a second here. Hold on. Hang on here. I'm in this to make money. I'm not in this so that some little blonde girl can run around on the beach and be happy, or put cowboy boots on and a cowboy hat and do a bunch of videos. And that's all Sophie Cunningham would do. She's not a very good player. She's okay, helping her team now, but that's silly. But she's not backing down. No. I am somebody who says what everyone else is thinking or talking about. Well, I mean, yes, but everybody else sometimes is really stupid. Like, you got to have somebody in Miami that wants to buy a franchise in that shit show, that wants to deal with you women. Who the hell wants to deal with you women? Y'all are liars? Y'all are frauds with wigs? Can't play? You think that's going to go in Miami? Maybe it goes in Nashville. I don't know. But a lot of things to do in Nashville. Detroit, not so much. They've had a great franchise. Bill Laimbeer won titles there. Cleveland, great sports town. Got to go where someone wants you. I mean, let's be honest, Indianapolis, the hub of basketball. But before Caitlin Clark, nobody gave two shits about that franchise. Now, I know it's growing. You tell me. You got opportunity to buy something, spend on upwards of what? $250 million, and you're in Miami. You going to pay for that? No, I don't think so. I'm someone who says thinking not just the refs, but with Detroit and with Cleveland. I want people to hear what I just said. I'm the only one. But if you ask our league, they feel the same way. When asked if she could give the response another shot, she doubled down. No, because I said what I had to say, and I'm not going to apologize because I firmly believe that. All right there, pretty. Yay, Rob.